Welcome in to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So glad to have you here on this beautiful bullish Monday morning here in Bali, Indonesia. Let me know where you guys are joining in from. Yeah, we're still bullish. It's been a week since I've done an update. Apologies for that. Life got in the way. But thankfully, we've just been consolidating for the week. So we haven't missed much price action whatsoever. Bias has certainly changed. If you've spent any time on Twitter, man, it's amazing. Like the tiniest little move down. We got a 7% move down off the highs, and people were calling for 30% corrections. And we haven't. It's amazing how not only how many people are bearish. You know, that's changing now that we're going back up, but a lot of people are bullish but very conservative. So there's a lot of damage that the market has done to traders to really allow the traders to forget how bullish Bitcoin can be when the right conditions are being met. In my opinion, the right conditions are being met. So don't forget what got you interested in Bitcoin and crypto in the first place. This space is crazy. The price objectives always seem unachievable, but let me tell you, they are more than achievable. And the only reason you think that these more bullish targets can't be reached is because of the amount of damage that has happened in the chop consolidation that lasted 6 months, or maybe even you got around in the bear market for several years, and a ruthless downtrending bear market that was. We're going to get into Bitcoin. I want to take a look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is an interesting play. I actually have my own thoughts and opinions on the MicroStrategy play, so stay tuned for that. And we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Is altcoin season about to begin? Has altcoin season already begun? So we're going to take a look at that as well. I also want to take a look at the Solana charts, the XRP charts. XRP has been doing some pretty interesting moves. So congrats to those diehard XRP fans who have been holding on to that fucking piece of shit for fucking years and years. Oh, I gotta learn to censor myself with those curse words. But yeah, the XRP family is finally getting up and playing catch up with Bitcoin a little bit. So if you've been holding true to that coin, shout out to you guys. Yeah, let me know. What do you guys think? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? What's going on? And while you guys let me know what's going on, and in the chat, let's go ahead and take a look at the king of all crypto.
Before we get into the TA,
is
just
Bitcoin.
a quick reminder, this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and trading or investing in cryptocurrency comes with risks. Always do your own research and consult with a professional if needed. Any use of trading bots or strategies should be tested and fully understood before implementation. Stay smart, stay safe, and trade responsibly. Let's get into the charts.
All right, before we jump into the TA, we actually got a very live chat today. It's amazing what a bull market can do to the YouTube algorithm and can do to the chat. So let's say hello and good morning or good afternoon or good evening to all of the individuals joining into us live. Battered and Bruised is bullish. We got Fundy AU is also bullish in the short term, not taking off till early next year. Potentially. Wayne Louise is bullish. My Safi, yo, how is it going? Joining in from Peru, beautiful. Good morning from Thailand. Our Armentius chatting from the Discord. Get into the Discord, guys. It is 100% free. I am going to change the way you get in. It will always be 100% free, but we do have a increasing scammer problem. This is not just isolated to our Discord. This is all Discords. This is Telegram. If you're new to this space, understand that scammers are always trying to go after you. They're always trying to get money out of you. But if you understand a few basics, first and foremost, I will never DM you. It's not that I don't want to be your friend. It's not that I don't want to have a chat. I will never DM you first. So right off the bat, if you're getting a DM from somebody that looks like me, it's not me. So just understand that. But yeah, we're going to change the way we do things in the Discord to try and keep the scammers out. But we're not ready to cross that bridge just yet. Louis G joining in from Canada. Hello, welcome in. Hop into the Discord. All right, Farmer BTC1, why aren't you wearing a Bintang singlet, JT? Me being in Bali, you'd expect I'd be wearing a singlet. Well, it's actually quite a simple reason as to why I'm not wearing a singlet. I am not a bogan. So that we'll leave that for the Australian bogans that love to call box as usual. Super bullish. Mauricio is super bullish. Very confused. Luigi, very confused by XRP. Is it a signal that retail is entering again? Unit bias narrative from previous cycles would still apply. I think that is a very good point. And Bitcoin does have a secret weapon for unit bias that will come on later on down the road as Bitcoin increases to, very crazy prices. We're actually going to stop talking about Bitcoins and we're going to start talking about sats. But you're right. Unit bias is very, very interesting. And I actually saw some interesting TikToks of people breaking down, the XRP trade and saying that XRP can reach, $10,000 to $30,000 a coin. I'm sorry, guys. No, just no. But we'll dive into that a little bit more as we get into the show. MB is bullish, joining in from the YouTube Shorts page. Marcos H, greetings from Tulum. I spent some time in Tulum. I really enjoy Tulum. It's a little overhyped, but Tulum's a beautiful place. Go get yourself a burrito, my friend, from Burrito Amor. Yeah, I really like Tulum for my time there. All right, that is all caught up on the chat. Let's take a look at our target. So our target for Bitcoin is still within the range of $118,000 to $125,000. It doesn't have to reach it, and it can totally blow past it, but this is our target. Now, what am I going to do at this target? Me personally, nothing. Might sell a little bit of Bitcoin for monthly expenses for, say, a 6-month period, so I don't need to do it later on. But, this is just a general target based off of this consolidation. My target for the actual cycle is much, much higher, and I can't actually give you a figure on that because it's such a wide range that it's kind of useless to talk about. I more so look at the movements, I look at sentiment, and I look at key indicators in the market where I make the decision that the bull market is over, and I don't know what the price will be when we get to that point. But daily's looking good. Let's actually go to the monthly, just kind of paint a picture here. This is the biggest, largest monthly candle close of Bitcoin's history. We had a $26,000 close for Bitcoin. This is a huge signal to the market that Bitcoin is, surprise, surprise, Bitcoin's bullish. People are bullish on Bitcoin. The MicroStrategy play is adding some leverage to the system, and a lot of people are speculating on the leveraged play that MicroStrategy is taking. It's bullish, man. It's bullish. I have not wavered in my thesis or my analysis whatsoever. My target is still in range. We're looking good. We're looking beautiful. I'm very happy with this breakout. There's not a lot of TA that I can do on the higher time frames because we're just in a breakout. We called the breakout here at 68,000. We're at 97,000, and I'm expecting it to go higher. So there's no real analysis that I can give to you in terms of a technical entry. You just got to figure out how you want to enter on your own. Let's fucking go. Bullish SEC bullshit is done with. Trump. Yeah, I think Trump is going to be very good for business. Just blanket statement. It's going to be good for business. When things are good for business, people are optimistic. People are willing to take more risks across the board with loans, yada, yada, yada. It's not just isolated to crypto, but crypto will be a beneficiary to a positive sentiment in the American markets. All right, let's go down to some smaller timeframes and identify this kind of range. So we set this trading range back here on some smaller timeframes. We got above it. We did an overthrow. We did an underthrow, and we're trying to reclaim that level. But currently sitting below it right now, so it is acting as resistance. But we're bullish. We're bullish. We got a monthly close. Let me just go back to the monthly really quick and kind of show you where this kind of accelerates. So right here is the monthly high. Let's actually put a line linear line right there. Let's get a horizontal ray, put it on the wick. So basically you take out the high at any point, and usually excuse me, usually when you get these closes, you'll get a little bit of a dip, and people expect a red month, and that'll happen early on in the candle close. We are still early, it's only the second, but if we close out the week with this monthly candle being green, I think that's going to be a very, very bullish, very positive sign that we're actually not going to get a pullback on this monthly candle, and it's just going to continue to higher prices. The acceleration taking place above 99.6 on the index chart. So watch the color of this candle on the monthly chart when the weekly candle closes. So if the weekly closes green, the monthly will close green, and that's going to be a really bullish sign. That's going to be a really bullish sign. So keep an eye out for that. Let's take a look here. Let's turn alphanumerics on, see what we can see on the 4 hour. The 7 is holding price up currently on the 4 hour. We just got our new 4 hour candle close, a couple dojis, a couple indecisions that kept above the 7. That's a positive sign that the bulls are still in control and we're ready to rally. If we close this candle above, what price? Close this candle above 97,893 on the index chart. That will be continuation candle and will at least come up against the resistance here at 99,000 by the end of the day, and maybe even go and test 99.6. We're pushing. We're pushing. I think if we can get anywhere near that 99.6 level, we're going for gold. We're going for gusto, and we're going to take out the highs and get that 100K move. This cycle is really huge, says our Mentis. Don't lose your Bitcoin. Yes, don't lose your Bitcoin. Be aware of altcoin season. Be aware of altcoin shills. Be aware of meme coins. Listen, there's nothing wrong with trading alts. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Where people fuck up is twofold. They're not paying attention to how their trade is doing in Bitcoin terms, okay? In Bitcoin terms, not in dollar terms, but in Bitcoin terms, they're not paying attention to how the trade is going. And they're over allocated to alts. Listen, greed is a bitch. Don't let greed be the way that you go broke in this once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay. We have incredible volatility. There's a lot going on. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. You have to maintain your composure and be happy with the fact that Bitcoin provides value, provides gains, and may not go as fast as an alt that's doing well. But, you have one coin that's pretty much a guarantee, and then you have thousands of other coins where you need to pick one that's going to outperform. So it's a tall order. It's a tall order. Stay heavy on BTC. Stay heavy on BTC. Let's see how things are going on the hourly chart for alphanumerics. Staying above the 7 on the hourly too. That's a positive sign. We'll get a close above this likely in the next 37 minutes, which is again a positive sign. Looking really, really good. Shout out to the Bang Box traders. We are in a bang box trade that is doing really good. We hit our take profit number 1. We're going to, we seem to be heading up to take our take profit number 2. This trade is live currently, so we can actually see the profits right over here. Let's get a quick refresh. Quick refresh. There's our profits so far in the last, how many minutes? It's been like better part of a day. Better part of a day sitting on those profits right now. Looking really good. We are back in the green basically. And yeah, if you guys are interested in signing up for this, everything on this channel is free. We work for the exchanges. So we are partnered with BitGet. We are partnered with Blowfin. Our job is to get users over to those exchanges, and that's how we get paid. But the benefit to you is you don't have to pay for any of these services. You get a Discord, you get free trading bots, you get everything. And all you're doing is trading on an exchange that has the same fees as Binance, the same fees as Coinbase, cheaper fees than Coinbase, the same fees as KuCoin. A lot of the popular exchanges, we're just bringing you over to them. But yeah, if you guys want more information, go to blkbox.pro. That is blackbox.pro. Sign up for free. Super easy. Sign up for an account. Get on Blowfin or BitGet. Boom, you're in. There are a few people in the Discord who are messaging about, hey, how do we see the signals? You do need to be a verified member. So once you've created an exchange account with either BitGet or Blowfin, all you have to do is just send me the UID. So go into Unlock Discord, send over your UID. We will confirm that you're a user. We'll confirm that you meet the criteria, and boom, we'll open up the server for you. We do have to open it up manually. Again, that is to keep scammers to a minimum. But yeah, everything here is free. So if anybody ever reaches out to you trying to ask for money, you know it's a scam, because nothing that we do at Blackbox costs any money. Boom, we're going for it. We're going to hit our TP live on the stream here. We're going to get our 10% profit right here on this live on the stream. It seems we're getting a push. Let's catch up with the chat, and then we'll go into MicroStrategy and altcoin season dominance. Thoughts on ETH NFTs pumping? I actually didn't know that they were. Hey, you were my first ever X comment. I have not received too many comments from X. So round of applause. We got our first commenter on Twitter, X. Beautiful. I like to see that. So yeah, we'll take a look at some of the ETH NFTs. We'll take a look at some of the big blue chips. So we can take a look at Bored Ape Yacht Club. We can take a look at Pudgy Penguins, and let me know. What do you want to look at? What are you holding? What's moving and shaking in Ethereum land? Won't lie, I'm balls deep on MSTR in my fiat accounts. I mean, it's a leveraged play on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing well. MSTR is going to do well. It's an interesting dynamic. And we'll go into it a little bit further in a moment here. Can you look at XDC versus BTC? What is XDC? XDC. I remember XDC. Let me open up a tab. We'll come back to that. XDC. XDC BTC. Oh, did we hit? Yeah, that's stupendous outperformance in the short term on BTC. It's just a matter of how long you've been holding it, right? If you were holding XDC from the last time it was hyped, let's say you bought it in July of 2023, well, you aren't really, you're still at a loss technically in Bitcoin terms until this can rally up. I don't know when you're holding it. Let me know when you started holding this trade, or if it's a fresh position for you. If it's a fresh position, you're killing it. But yeah, it still needs to rally at 234% before you break even in Bitcoin terms. But yeah, beautiful structure there. All right, let's getting sidetracked. What were we going to look at? MSTR, MicroStrategy. Just crazy. Like this is already hyperbolic. Doesn't mean that we can't go a little bit higher, but this is a leveraged play on Bitcoin, and it can go both ways, right? So if people really start taking profits on this and bring the price of MSTR down, that makes them less eligible for loans, which means they can buy less Bitcoin. So this is kind of a leveraged play in both directions, but it's freaking crazy, honestly. Since the Bitcoin breakout, up 200% and up 330% total. It's just a beast. Absolute beast. Do not stand in the way of this. Do not short this. Do not buy puts against MSTR. If you are trying to get short exposure at all on MSTR, you are just asking to get your account completely blown up. Don't get in the way of that trade. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Beautiful move to the downside here in Bitcoin dominance. A lot of this is probably due to XRP. XRP just doing incredibly well. Let's actually slide that one up a little bit. Do I think it's altcoin season yet? No, not yet. We're seeing volatility. We're seeing a sign of weakness. We're seeing signs of a top in Bitcoin dominance. But what I need to see is a trend. So what does that mean? I will officially call this altcoin season. Right now we have a high. We have a break of structure to a low. What I need to see is a rally that creates a lower high and then a move down that creates a lower low. The moment this is taken out as a new low, the very moment that that is taken out as a new low, it's very likely that we are going to continue that trend and it is going to kick into altcoin season. Now for kind of a more bearish take on things, unfortunately, you come to this channel because I'm as honest as I can with you. Out of all the altcoin seasons that we have seen, I do expect this one to be the weakest. The only reason that I expect it to be the weakest altcoin season is just based off of the current trend. So let me kind of, move things back a little bit. This was by far the largest. Shout out to all my 2017 fellow brethren, class of 2017. You guys know this was an absolutely ridiculous, face-melting, mind-boggling, fucking wealth-generating, crazy altcoin season. It went down 62%. Then the last one was a little bit moderate. We're going to have to check on that trade. I'm getting alerts. This one was a 46%. So if this one is the top right here, we would be looking at basically a 36% drop in altcoin dominance. Listen, until this breaks, it's not going to break. I don't anticipate Bitcoin to lose more than 36 to 38% market dominance, only because it's never done that. Okay, every single bull market, every single altcoin season, it hasn't done that. Doesn't mean it can't. It just means that's the current trend. So be aware. As this altcoin season develops, be very cautious. And I would be taking, if you're sitting on substantial gains, I would be locking some of those gains in if we're sitting back down at 38% dominance. Don't expect it to pierce through for the very first time in its entire history. Do the responsible thing and be looking somewhere around here to be taking profits. All right, let's catch back up with the chat. Kusama USD. Kusama, man. I didn't even think Polkadot was a thing, and people are still talking about Kusama. Light pop on track bottoming. We'll take a look. I've got track queued up. We got track and tap queued up. MSTR going to probably 4K next year. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes higher than that. Getting put into the S&P 500 or into the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. They have 20% convertible debt at 0% versus BTC holdings earnings. Yeah, they've got a money glitch. The one thing is, and this is the biggest difference between a company and Bitcoin, a company's run by people. Bitcoin is a permissionless protocol run by math. The incentives of Bitcoin will never change. There is a non-zero chance that MicroStrategy takes on too much debt and the price of their stock falls too much. The price of Bitcoin falls too much and they get margin called, creating a downward spiral. So let's enjoy things for the meantime. Let's enjoy it while it's good. But MicroStrategy could also end up being the reason that Bitcoin has one of the worst bear markets it's ever had. So we wanted institutions. Institutions are here, but don't fall into the trap that thinking that the institutions are going to prevent Bitcoin's price from falling larger percentages than it's done in the past. If Bitcoin does 80% retracements, guess what? The bear market's going to bring 80% retracements, and MicroStrategy could be a contributing factor to that if they get margin called on some of their debt. So just be aware, have a plan. But right now, let the good times ride. All right. We're in a bull market. It's good. We're good. Everything's gravy. It's going to continue to get better. Glad you put the automatic TPs on the bot. Yeah, that was a long time coming. Bitcoin layer 2s. Yeah, I think Bitcoin layer 2s are going to continue. Every altcoin is a Bitcoin layer 2, if you think about it, if you really think about it. Because where do the profits usually go? Bitcoin. STX is king. Also, this current track pump, is it legit or a fade out? We will take a closer look. Track is still an incredibly important project with a lot of potential, so we'll take a look. You guys are funny. Only time you guys come out is when crypto goes up. There are a lot of crypto tourists out there, but I will say a lot of my community is comprised of the OGs. Now, market participation in the chats, that could be totally, something totally different. But yeah, no, a lot of the community is built up of OGs. A lot of us, well, I like to think a lot of us got in when we took our initial positions at 18K. But yeah. Stacks makes Bitcoin programmable. So does Tap protocol, my friend. And we actually have some automated market makers layer 1 for Bitcoin. So if you aren't already checking out what's going on with the Tap protocol, we got programmability on Bitcoin base layer programmability, which is definitely good. Contracts settle on the Bitcoin blockchain. Yep. All right. BTC would have to drop to sub 20K for master to get margin called. Right now, but they're going to take on more debt and raise that up, right? So, and economics can change too. Right now, this is the promise, but there's always fine print with every contract. I am always a pessimist when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't trust people, which is why I trust Bitcoin. I don't hold a single share of MicroStrategy. I go with Bitcoin because I just don't trust people. People are in the business of fucking you over. Especially Wall Street. There's a saying in Wall Street, anytime anybody's doing a deal, the only thing the Wall Street guys are, it's like, okay, this all looks good, but where are you fucking me? That's all they're focused on. It's like, all right, where are you screwing me over? Anytime there's any deal, they go through the fine print and all they're looking for is, how are you screwing me over? Am I okay with getting screwed over in that way? So there's a lot of shady business that happens on Wall Street. I don't think MicroStrategy is any different from the rest of Wall Street. Michael Saylor is a Wall Street man and he's playing Wall Street games. So just don't forget who your enemies are. All right. XRP. You've all been waiting for it. XRP on the Bitcoin pair on last month's candle was up 179% in Bitcoin terms. And on this current monthly candle is up 20% in Bitcoin terms. So I want to point out, we're going to start on the Bitcoin pair because it's really important for you guys to understand this chart. How do you trade a Bitcoin chart? When you're in the altcoin season, honestly, Tether and the US dollar comparatives, it's a scam. Don't pay attention to it. Do not pay attention to it. Pay attention to the Bitcoin pair. Because if you've been holding XRP for, let's say, a year, if you've been holding, it's December right now. So if you've been holding XRP since December, 1 year, you're currently up 58%. Nothing to shake a stick at. That's great. If you've been holding it for 2 years, you're actually at zero. You're at 0%. And if you've been holding it any longer than 2 years, you haven't even broken even yet. So what that means is, like, during that period of time, and there are a lot of diehard XRP fans out there. There's a lot of XRP hodlers. If you've been holding XRP for longer than 2 years, chances are you're at break even or you're still playing catch up. If you bought the hype back here in 2017, you're not even going to break even until XRP rallies another 500%. Then you break even in Bitcoin terms. Fiat, sure, whatever. If you want to count fiat. But it's a disservice to your portfolio to count fiat. You got to count Bitcoin. I'm break even on both XRP and Theta. Well done. Well done. How many months do we still have for this cycle? When is it time to be most alert and scale out? That is a fantastic question, Simas. And let's talk about it. So how many more months do we have? I don't know. I would anticipate we have till at least the beginning of Q2 of next year. So we have, 4 or 5 months left on the conservative, more bearish side of things. And I'd be looking at kind of end of Q3. So anywhere from like 4 to 8, maybe 12 months, and anywhere in between that. But what I'm looking for, let's go back to Bitcoin for just a moment and turn on our custom indicator alphanumerics. Go to the daily here. What I'm looking for is right now we're in this green wave. I know there's a lot going on in the chart, but just, this band at the bottom here is green. As long as this band is green, I can assume higher levels. I can assume more time. The moment this band changes from red or from green to red, look at it, called the top right here. Boom, called the tippy top, basically. Got you out at around 59, 55 if you were late. The moment it changes, we're out. It can turn back on, and it did. It got us in at, like 46, and it got us back out at 55. But yeah, historically speaking, when that band changes from green to red, that's when we're getting out. So we need the euphoria. We need to continue this kind of upwards trajectory. The time duration for that is totally unexpected. We don't know, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's go month to month and look at historical precedents. So historically speaking, here is September. Let's go to December. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 months on the first cycle. Let's go to December. 12 months on the first cycle. 12 months on the second cycle. Let's go to December again. 4 months on the third cycle. You can count this if you want, but I don't. This was the top. 4 months. So anywhere from 4 to 12 months, exactly what we said. We're looking at Q1 to kind of end of Q3, somewhere around that area. But what's going to give us a more focused, accurate time of that is the week. So that indicator that I talked about, it flashes on a weekly basis. So we've narrowed it down from 4 to 12 months down to 1 week. And within that week, we will pretty much be the only ones selling. Everybody's going to be euphoric. Everybody's going to think we're heading to much higher levels. And we're going to be the only ones that are selling. So if you guys aren't already subscribed, but better yet is get into the Discord, because all of this stuff is given to you for free. We have automatic alerts that you can program to be sent to your phone. The exact moment that signal fires, it'll be sent to your phone, and it'll be sent to your phone for free. So get into the Discord, sign up with BitGet, sign up with Blowfin, get free access to all the VIP services that we offer, and be prepared. Be prepared. Get bull run ready, because part of being bull run ready is being bear market ready. We will be there. We will be there. All right, let's quickly go back over. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful move on the bot. So we took profit here, 10% take profit. Immediately after taking profit, we're back down. That's what the bot's doing. That's what's good about this bot. So currently we are sitting at a break-even stop loss trigger. So we're in the money. We're in the money on this trade. Obviously, we want it to keep going. But yeah. It's looking good. Yes, BTC firing. I need that signal. Come, Matt, just Discord, man. If you don't have a Discord account, what are you doing? Get a Discord account. You gotta be. YouTube is probably. It's not the worst place that you could be getting information, but it's one of the last places that provides information. If you want a lagging indicator, go to YouTube. Okay, I'm here to tell you guys, what's up and my thoughts. But a lot of my thoughts have already been said multiple times in the Discord in real time. If you want real time analysis, you need to be in the service that's operating 24/7. I mean, I got to sleep, but anytime there's something of significance that I think is noteworthy in the market, I tell the Discord first. I post it in the Discord first. Then I take that idea and I decide to make a video about it. So it's always, YouTube is always a lagging indicator. So get into these communities, get into these chats, just be aware of scammers, be aware of impersonators. Thoughts on Litecoin? Yeah, we can take a look at Litecoin very quickly, but I want to circle back and take a look at STX, some layer 2 stuff on Bitcoin. Let's just quickly, okay. We had, this was XRP. Let's get that. Let's get my charts organized here. XRP, let's take a look at XRP first, and let's do the dollar pair, even though I hate it. XRP USD, I don't pay attention to the dollar pair, but I know a lot of people do. And the dollar pair looks stupendous. Absolutely stupendous. It just goes to show you how much better Bitcoin is, because this is damn near hitting all-time highs. And when you go to XRP BTC, it doesn't even come close. It's not even the same chart, like, at all. Oops. XRP BTC, that's what I was trying to do. It's not the same chart at all. It's nowhere near. So XRP needs to rally about a 10x. XRP needs to 10x to break the Bitcoin all-time high. But XRP only needs to rally another, what, like 20%, 15%? Its high price, 32%. Its highest price is only 32% off the highs. So the dollar is killing it. The dollar is killing it, but the dollars are worthless. What do you want dollars for? You want Bitcoin, get more Bitcoin. Dollars are not your friend. Dollar is a slave currency. But yeah, this is, I mean, you can't really make an entry here. We got to wait for some sort of consolidation. So I'd be looking kind of somewhere down in this target range. Where's my toolbar? Give me my toolbar. I'd be looking somewhere around here. Then it's kind of like a double bottom formation. So let it come back down to like $1.60, maybe even $1.50. I think that might be a nice psychological level for a lot of people. So let's do, yeah, $1.50 to $1.60. Somewhere in that level would be a good, and with a consolidation. So this is actually a great, this is a great time for me to tell you when to buy an asset, okay? What you're looking for is, you don't buy these big green candles. I mean, if you want to risk it, you can, you know, do what you're going to do. It's fine. But ultimately what you want to do is you want a downtrend to be created so that you can be a participant the moment the downtrend changes. So let me show you what that looks like. So in a perfect world, we would get something like this, a big retracement. You know what? Let's be realistic. It's probably going to rally a little bit more. So let's get something like that. It'll come up, tag the all-time high. Then we'll get a nice little retracement. And, you know, people are going to be averaging down. They're like, oh, the low's in, the low's in, the low's in. And they're going to be averaging down. And those people are idiots. What you do is you allow it to go all the way down. As long as it's in a downtrend, it's still in a downtrend. You can watch it go to fucking zero. Sorry, I'm so bad at not swearing. But eventually a floor will be found, and it's going to change its shape and its structure. When it changes its shape and its structure, and it shows you a little pop, that little pop right here, oh, I'm drawing like a 4-year-old. That little pop right here, that's your entry. That's your entry. So let it do its thing. You don't know how far it can go down. But what you do know is when the bulls come back. When the bears are in control, let them do their bear things. But when the bulls come back, you're in and you get in. So that's what you're looking for on something like this. And then it'll take its next extension. So right now, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot you can do except congratulate your friends. Congratulate your friends that have been diehard XRP fans that have been holding XRP for a very long time. Kudos, man. That was not easy. That was not easy. And it's certainly not easy when you got schmucks like me calling you a fucking retard for, you know, years and years. for holding the thing. So a little bit of relief out there. Man, my language is bad. Oh well. Bitcoin pair doesn't count in inflation like the USD pair does. Bitcoin beats fiat every single day. Yep. Well done. Facts. JT was bullish in the 60s when a bunch of OGs were calling for more downside. Yep, that is true. The monthly candle for XRP is insane. Absolutely crazy. Look at that thing. Just stupid. Last month's candle, so November, 283 in fiat. And so far in December 22, just huge. Huge, huge, huge. Thoughts on Litecoin. All right, let's transition into Litecoin. LTC USD. Let's see what the plebs are looking at. Yeah, a lot of these OGs. So for me, I don't see any value whatsoever in Litecoin. The play on Litecoin is I want to buy Bitcoin, but I want to own a whole coin. So you can look at like the sophistication of that kind of investor and the amount of money that an investor who would think like that would have. And it's not a strong asset. It's not a strong asset. For me, I always go for the strongest winners, always the strongest. And there is a narrative out there where coins play catch up. And it's like, oh, we gotta, this one hasn't pumped yet. This one's next to pump. I don't play around with those at all. They're always playing catch up. They're never leading the charge. They're never coming from a position of strength. And you always want to place your bets with those that are showing you a position of strength, which is a beautiful segue into Solana. I'll quickly just take a look at Litecoin on the Bitcoin pair and just prove to you even more that, like, guys, it doesn't matter when you bought Litecoin. It doesn't matter in Litecoin's entire history. In Litecoin's entire history, you're down. You're down. Great, fiat's up, cool. But the reality is you messed up the trade. You messed it up because you should have held Bitcoin. Silver to Bitcoin's gold. It's such a stupid narrative. There's absolutely nothing that Litecoin can do that Bitcoin can't do better. So yeah, Litecoin's a bad one. Not coming from a position of strength whatsoever. Same thing with Bitcoin Cash. I mean, it's just, don't mess around with these. Let's see what Cardano's doing. Cardano, a little bit of life. XRP, certainly a lot more life. But the one that I'm most bullish on, let's actually turn that back over to XRP. The one I'm most bullish on is Solana. Solana is the strength. Solana is the one that's really in it to win it. And as soon as this consolidation, and it hasn't blown up yet. It hasn't taken its trade yet. So, can you buy XRP right now? No, you can't. Look at where it is. It's in no man's land. How are you supposed to buy that? It's in no man's land. You have no idea if this is going to keep going, and you have no idea if it's going to retrace 60%. You have no clue. But with Solana, you know exactly what to do. We're waiting for the breakout. We're waiting for the breakout in Solana. Solana has been a darling child of this cycle so far. It has been killing it this cycle so far. And the moment this breaks out, it's going to be another winner. It's just going to keep going. So as soon as we get a breakout here on Solana, it's just going to go. And it's going to be the very first altcoin ever in existence, ever, to break a prior cycle's high in Bitcoin terms. This asset is strong. Out of everything we've talked about today, as far as alts, this one's my pick. Not financial advice. Do your own research. YouTube disclaimer bullcrap out of the way. For me, this is the one. This is the one that I think out of the top, out of page one of CoinMarketCap, out of the top 20 assets that you could choose from a macro altcoin position, this is the one that gets me the most excited. So that's what I'm watching for. You know what? Let's set an alert on it. I don't know why there isn't already an alert on it, because we got to get above that in Bitcoin terms. Alert. Price crossing horizontal ray 1 per bar close on the 3-day. No, let's do this on the daily. We need this for the daily. There we go. Create. So the moment that breaks out, it's go time for Solana. Solana's had a lot of love this season, but it's where a lot of the trading volume is going. Please do track in Alex. Litecoin having a purple candle on the Litecoin BTC weekly. Yes, so the purple candle, back to Litecoin on the weekly. Listen, for alphanumerics fans out there, it's on a purple candle. You can get a purple candle on anything. I'm not saying that Litecoin can't rally against Bitcoin. I'm just saying that as far as picks of this market cycle, it's one of the worst ones you can pick, in my opinion. Be happy to be proven wrong. You know, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But in my opinion, based on my style of trading, historically speaking, and based how I've seen the best trades come from the strongest assets, this is not a strong asset. And just because it has a purple candle doesn't mean jack shit. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that the parameters for a purple candle happened. Whenever you're looking at any style of TA, whether it's our custom indicator or any indicator, the rule number one is there demand? Before anything else, is there demand? There's no point in even opening a chart until you have established that there is a high degree of demand, there's a high amount of trading volume, there's a lot of bulls. Until you know that this asset has market fit and has demand, use case, purpose, and a following, there's no point. No point in getting excited about it. Don't even open the ticker on a chart. Put it back to my favorite, Solana. Varying viewpoint, good morning. Thanks, Blue, for your insights, my friend. You're very welcome, Gary. I went in for Solana yesterday. Probably a really good move. Best altcoin to get onto of? Best altcoin to get onto of? I'm pretty sure I just did a 10-minute session on what I think that is. When it breaks, do you sell it for BTC? When it breaks out, you're selling BTC. You're just buying Solana, basically. If you're holding Bitcoin and you're trading Bitcoin for Solana, absolutely use this chart. But even if you're just putting fiat in, you need to look at this chart because you need to know that the trade that you took in fiat is doing better than you just buying Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you're buying Solana. You just need to make sure that it's outperforming Bitcoin, because if it's not outperforming Bitcoin, it's a waste of your time. Are we going to break 100K this week? I believe so. And if we do, how high can we go? $118,000 to $125,000 is my target range. That's my target range. I really think once we break 100K, we just go right past it. It's so easy to move the price of Bitcoin right now. So easy to move the price of Bitcoin. Is Doge going to the moon? Doge is going to the moon, my friend. Doge is another one. Quickly on Doge. We got a lot of people waiting for track. There you go. Looks great. Same thing, though. You need to pull back. You need to pull back. You need structure. You need a new entry. There's no entry here. Unless you want to assume the downside risk and maybe average down using what I'm telling you, go for it. You know, it's your money. A lot of times I will do that too, right? So if we're showing a lot of strength, I'll take an initial position of like 20, 25% of what I plan to put into the trade. And then if we come down, I'll average down using the method that I showed you previously. Polkadot. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm getting really distracted. Polkadot goes to the end of the list. Let's take a look at Track, because a lot of people have been waiting for Track. Track, beautiful daily candle close here. Yesterday's candle closed at 28% move. The candle prior to that was a 20% move. Are we out of the woods yet? No. Ordinals are not ready. Is this a sign of strength? Yes. Is this potentially a bottom? Yes. Let's take a look at the volume. Volume is still abysmal. The ordinals just aren't ready. They're not ready. Okay. When track gets above $1.57, then we can talk. A daily candle close above $1.57, then we can talk. We also need to break this downwards sloping line of resistance. Where are we right now? Where are we right now? We are below the resistance. When we're below the resistance, what do we assume? We assume rejection. Why? Because it rejected here, it rejected here, it rejected here, it rejected here, it rejected here. Every other time it's rejected. So only at the point at which it is not a rejection, actually gets above and rallies and takes out, a prior high, then you get excited. So great. Couple 20% daily candles in track. Are we out of the woods yet? No, we are not. No, we are not. But it's still exciting nonetheless. And TAP also had a beautiful day yesterday, a 30% move. So far, its move today is about 6%, 5.65. Nice little break. This one has broken structure. Now, this is a much, much younger asset, so take it with a grain of salt. We're looking at the 4-hour chart here, so that's a lot less exciting, but it broke a downward sloping line of resistance. That's good, but it still needs to take out a high. So it has to take out at least its prior high, which is going to be this one right here. So until it can get above $7.14, again, nothing to get excited about. We could be forming a floor, but it would be much, much better if you can do something like this and get kind of a double bottom formation. That would be the best. And then you get a little sign of strength here, you enter right there, boom. And then you're carrying the whole trade the whole time. So not ready. Ordinals are not ready. Runes are not ready. Track is not ready. TAP is not ready. Nothing is ready in that space at all, in my opinion. We need to see some of the other alts perform well, and we'll have that trickle down effect where Bitcoin makes a move. Then you have the major alts making a move, and then you have the minor alts making a move, and then you have everything making a move. In my opinion, ordinals fall under that everything category. They're the last to get love, and we're seeing that. We are seeing that. All right. So speaking of Bitcoin ecosystem, STX, oops. Where are we going? There we go. STX, pressed a hotkey somewhere. We'll take a look at the tether pair. Somebody was talking about STX. I think that was, who was talking about STX? Can't remember who was talking about STX, but Bitcoin layer 2s. By the way, TAP protocol is a Bitcoin layer 2, or sorry, no, it's a Bitcoin layer 1. And the TAP protocol is running things like Taproot swap. So if you don't already know, this is layer 1 Bitcoin. So you have smart contracts on Bitcoin. It's right here. You can see it. You can swap Bitcoin for, there's no liquidity just yet. It's brand new, but I can swap for TAP. It's not usable just yet because there's just not enough liquidity. But it exists. We have smart contracts on Bitcoin. We have swap protocols on Bitcoin. We have liquidity pools on Bitcoin. It needs way more liquidity to actually be functional, but it exists. And that's step one, right? It needs to exist first before people contribute to it. Here's the APR. I'm so glad that they added the APR. You can get 5.53% for adding liquidity to Bitcoin TAP. You can get 8.26% adding liquidity to GIB, BTC GIB, DMT NAT. We got BTC DMT NAT tokens. So things are moving. Things are moving. Is it really truly exciting? No. And this goes back to what I already said. Ordinals aren't ready yet. We're not quite there yet. You add one mania to this liquidity pool, then it's going to get exciting. You're going to see some crazy, crazy valuations coming into this, but it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. But it's very exciting that Bitcoin has smart contracts because everybody thinks that's impossible. But that's only because they're not paying attention. It does have smart contracts. They exist. Stacks. Beautiful market structure, actually. This is almost a perfect example of what I've explained twice on when to make an entry into something. So if you're a Stacks fan, you're really going to like what I have to say here, because we had a high. Let's mark it out here. We had a high. We had a retracement where a lot of fools were just averaging down. Then we bottomed, traded sideways, and we broke the structure. So where's the buy? We're at the buy. This is the buy. This is a good technical buy signal for Stacks. I won't be a participant. I'm not buying it, but that doesn't mean that this isn't a buy. This is a good buy opportunity for those who are interested in the Stacks protocol. So if you're a Stacks bull, I anticipate this to continue to do well. This looks good. This is very healthy, very kind of predictable market structure that we're looking at. It's great. This is a great chart. It's a great chart. So why don't you buy it? Because you can't buy everything. There's thousands and thousands of coins out there. And I already have Bitcoin infrastructure plays in my portfolio. Tap and track. So I'm not going to bother with Stacks. All right. ETH BTC. Yeah, let's take a look at ETH BTC. Man, can I just wallow in pride for a moment? Can I just shove it in the face of everybody who's been doubting what I've been saying about Ethereum for the last like 2.5 years? I said, like, imagine being the guy. Imagine being the guy who looked at this and said, yeah, we're probably heading down to 3 million sats per ETH. And being laughed at and being ridiculed and said, you're an idiot. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I did so for years. I said, this is a shit chart. We're going into a bear market. We're heading down. And as this developed, you know, we got, let's just go to the end here. We don't need replay. We've been talking about this downtrend for years, literally years. And I kept saying, we're going to 3 million sats. We're going to 3 million sats. We're going to 3 million sats. And everybody thought that that was just ridiculous to say. Where did we land? I mean, we're still in a downtrend, so we could totally get there still. But the low here is 3.1 million sats. 3.1 million sats per ETH. It's played out exactly as we said it would. And it's still playing out. But in Bitcoin terms, the last week was an 11% move. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. This red line is your enemy. And until this red line is broken to the upside, it will continue to be your enemy. We are not going to get above this. We are not going to repair the trend until you get above that. So, game on. Keep on going. Keeps on continuing. Bitcoin keeps dominating. Let's take a look at it in dollar pairs for those who enjoy trading slave currencies. It's a similar setup to Solana on the dollar pair, but Solana's doing it on the Bitcoin pair. So again, showing much more strength. Solana shows way more strength than Ethereum, but we're knocking on resistance. We're knocking on resistance. So do we get a rejection? Do we get a rejection or do we get a breakout? We're at that decision point right now. This is a no trade scenario. There's nothing good about an entry at this point. This is a no trade scenario. I would much rather be a buyer at a higher price with a confirmation at a breakout than be buying here up against resistance. So just be aware of that. Alex. What is Alex? What do I think about Bitcoin mining stocks? I don't buy stocks because I don't trust companies. Listen, you can have a great idea. You can have a fantastic idea. But the problem is companies are run by people and people make mistakes. You could have a Bitcoin mining company in a pool of miners. Which one do you pick? I would pick all of them because you need to decide who's incompetent. who's going to destroy the business accidentally in a bull market in good times? Who is going to be that person who messes up the Bitcoin mine? Who's the CEO? Are they good? Are they smart? Are they taking on risks? Are they doing stupid things? Are they making decisions that's going to allow them to fall back on their ability to truly compete with the rest of the mining infrastructure? Also, and this is something to consider, the mining stocks today, those companies that exist today, will not exist in the future, because the most competitive miner in the market is the power generation companies. Who owns the electric dam? Who owns the solar powered field? Who owns the nuclear power plant? The power company themselves, the power companies, are going to become the miners, because the incentives are aligned that they become the miners. So the moment that the power generation companies take over the mining industry, every single mining stock will trade to zero. Every single mining company will go bankrupt. They may be bought, and there may be some way of, removing that, but what's going to happen to the share price in that kind of environment? It's coming. It's a guarantee. Nobody can compete with the people who are generating the power. The only reason they exist today is because the power generation companies can't wrap their head around Bitcoin, and they don't know how to unlock value in their infrastructure. But the moment they get it, and the moment they realize that Bitcoin is a heat sink of energy, they're going to be like, oh, that's a great idea. We're going to do that. And then the miner can't compete. The miner will go out of business immediately. The miner will lose. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. Alex. Oops, I keep pressing keys on my stream that are clearly hot buttons. Let's go to Alex. Take a look at the partner exchange links that are popping up and spamming the chat right now. Alex is a part of Stacks in the Bitcoin ecosystem. It's DeFi play. Stacks is BD. Very interested in your analysis on it. All right, we'll take a look. But yeah, sign up with any of those partner exchanges, ladies and gentlemen. BitGet, Blowfin, Bybit. If you start an account with them, you get free access to all of our VIP offers. Selling power is a great business. I will say the mining companies over-leveraged themselves last cycle. The ones that weathered the storm the best and held most BTC will prevail. They will prevail until the power company takes over. It's just a fact. Like the power generation companies are going to... What a lot of people don't know, what a lot of people don't realize, listen, I used to be a utility arborist. So I have extensive knowledge of the grid systems and power generation because I used to clear power lines for a living. That was my trade. I was a utility forester. So fun fact. What a lot of people don't realize is the power generated, most of it is wasted. When you send electricity down a power line, you lose power. When you send it to a house and the house doesn't use all of it, you lose power. About 50 to 60% of the power that is generated, and that's being conservative, about 50 to 60% of the power generated goes into the ground and nobody uses it. It gets wasted. So what Bitcoin can do is it acts as a heat sink. So as the customers are drawing power, if they're drawing power at 50%, the other 50% goes into the Bitcoin mine, which is just now a part of the hydroelectric dam. You have the hydro dam, it's connected to the turbines, and then it's connected to the Bitcoin miners. It becomes a part of the infrastructure because it's a way to scale that business, and it's a way to remove loss because the losses are huge. If you don't need to send all the energy down the power line, and if you don't need to send excess energy into the ground once it reaches the customer, the power companies are going to jump on that. Imagine going to the CEO of California Power and saying, hey, we have this thing that's going to increase your profits 60%. They're going to take it. And it's not going to require any infrastructure upgrades other than you adding these computers. They're going to take it. So the life of a commercial miner, especially a publicly traded miner, Those days are numbered. Those days are numbered. Alex. Yeah, it's weak. Stacks is a much better play. Stacks is a much better play than Alex. I think Alex is an AMM. Let's go ahead and take a look. The finance layer of Bitcoin. Yeah, so you got your swap. So basically what Alex is it's the equivalent of TAP. So Trax TAP token, it's the Alex to the STX layer. So STX and Track are kind of the same, and TAP and Alex are kind of the same. And both are doing poor. Both are doing really poor. So, it's just, that's not where we are. That's not where we are with the market. With the market participants, they don't realize everything that's going on in the Bitcoin ecosystem. They hear Bitcoin and they're like, nah, I want an altcoin. They don't realize that there's a whole ecosystem taking place inside of Bitcoin. And until that happens, it's more nothing, right? So Alex is exactly the same as TAP. TAP's getting a little bit more love in the short term, but Track is certainly down bad. It's it's not the time. It's not the time. And it's overall just kind of boring. Just like ordinals are kind of boring right now. You want to take out this high at least. So for a buy signal, you want to at least take out this high. So get it back above 16 cents. And that'll probably be a good buy opportunity. You'll see STX on a breakout. So STX will kind of be the key. So when STX breaks out, that's when the STX ecosystem will get recognized. Once the STX ecosystem gets recognized, Alex will be a beneficiary of that attention. Learned nothing new about power gen. Thanks. Oh, learned something new about power gen. I thought that was kind of a rude comment. Like, okay, well, whatever. Yeah. Dot, please. Oh, fuck. You really want me to shit all over your coin, eh? Fine. Let's shit all over Dot. Okay, so it's made up some gains in the short term. We've got a couple days, 38%, 3%, 62% up against resistance. But here's what you have to pay attention to. How long have you been holding Dot? Because it's, let's say you bought Dot here in July of this year. You're still down. This is a weak asset. This is a useless, shitty, downtrending coin that's doing worse than Ethereum. It's garbage. Don't be fooled by the dollar. Do not be fooled by the dollar. When you look at the dollar, things look, okay, well, it's not bad. It looks like it's finding a ground. It's finding some floor. No, man. No. Dot BTC. You have less Bitcoin than you did in July of this year by holding Dot. Why do you want less Bitcoin? You should have just held Bitcoin. It's much better. It's easier. You get better liquidity, no slippage. It's available everywhere. It's exchanged globally. It's just a better asset. But, if you held it in July, you're down. So it's just playing catch up. It's in a downtrend. When this downtrend's changed, we'll do the same thing we did on ETH. So when this downtrend changes to an uptrend right up against resistance right now. So it needs to break this out. If it can break out above, and then if it can start taking out some of these highs, so this is first and foremost this high right here at 100,000 sats per dot. No, sorry, 11,000 sats per dot. And then it has to take out this high of 20,000 sats per dot. So if it can get above 11,000 and 20,000 sats per dot, now we're cooking. Now we're looking good. Now it has the ability to actually become a trade. But as it stands right now, downtrend, lowest price, coming off the lowest price it's ever had, period, ever, up against a resistance point. It's shit. It's garbage. I wouldn't touch it. But if you're in it and you're in it for the long run, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a break of structure and you're looking at taking out some of those highs. Once you do that, it'll look good. MSTR, we already took a look at. Not much to say, to be fair. CKB? Can you check CKB? CKB. What are we looking at here? Nervos network. It's got to be AI. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Common knowledge base. Contract kernel of Bitcoin. Okay. CKB is the first fully Bitcoin isomorphic layer 2 solution utilizing proof of work and UXTO models. Well, it would have to be a UXTO model. That's like saying, you know, gluten-free ice cream. Like, yeah, okay. Its main goal is to enhance Bitcoin by adding programmability and scalability through RGB. I like RGB. And the UTXO stack and CKB Lightning Network. That I like. That I like. We need more development happening to the Lightning Network. My question to you is, what do you do with CKB? What does that do? So a big thing for me on layer 2s is if you are using any other currency, if you're using any other currency that is not Bitcoin, you are not a layer 2. So the Lightning Network is a layer 2. Unequivocally, you cannot argue it's a layer 2 because how do you process transactions? With sats. What are you sending? Sats. It's a layer 2. Stacks is not a layer 2. Why? Because you are sending the gas to do transactions is paid for in Stacks tokens. So you basically have a separate chain doing separate things with collateralized BTC, but it's not a layer 2. It doesn't actually go back. So that's, you know, it's the same thing on Ethereum too. Like Matic, not a layer 2 because it uses the Polygon, the Matic token. But Arbitrum is a layer 2 because it uses ETH. It uses a wrapped version of ETH. When a project decides to choose greed over functionality, I lose interest. So if CKB can do everything that it's saying it can do, but in order for it to do that, it needs to do so with the CKB token, I'm fundamentally against that project because they're being greedy. They're not doing what needs to be done. They're doing what is nice to their shareholders, their insiders, their seed rounds. They're bringing utility to a token that doesn't need to exist. But if the gas is in sats, and if the transactions are processed in sats, well, that's different. That's different. And if the fees collected from sats are distributed to the shareholders of CKB token, that's also very different. So I would like some clarity on that if you are able to provide clarity there. Dash OG. Nah, we don't need to look at that. Gain 10% more Bitcoin with BMN1 side swap is awesome. Okay. XRP. We talked about XRP. Just rewind the tapes there, Philly. What can we gather? Is there information that we can gather here? Learn, mining, wallets, developer, community. So nothing exists yet. Nothing exists yet. They're falling behind. You know, if they are going to make something, they got to make it. It's the bull market. We got swaps here on Alex. We got swaps here on Tap. Right? So they got to do something if they're going to do it. And it needs to happen now. So Nervos Network is probably a pass for me. But from a technical point of view, this is not a bad entry. So if you're bullish on this asset, this is not a bad entry. I just worry about its ability to deliver enough bullish news to capitalize on the bull market. So, or another way of saying that, I worry about the demand side of the trade. So be aware of the demand side of the trade. Supply and demand is everything. So if you believe in the demand side of this trade, the technicals become a lot more applicable, and we'd be looking for a break, a daily candle close above 2,800. No. 28 sats. Man, this is a micro cap coin. That's probably why a lot of people like it. What's the price on that? I didn't even look at the price. Nervo. $0.02 Canadian. $0.017. Yeah. That'll be why a lot of people like it. They can get thousands and thousands and millions of this thing. Sideswap is an exchange on Liquid. Love Liquid. I mean, it's not the best solution, but it's a good product. BMN is Adam Back's liquid mining note. Nice. When do you predict Solana hits 1K if it ever does? I mean, it will hit 1K without a doubt. It's only at $234. Within the next 4 to 12 months. It's all dependent on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the next 4 to 12 months. So in the next 4 to 12 months, Solana, honestly, it might even get up to 2,500. I think it can hit at least 1,000. At least. That's easy. That's easy. You guys forget how silly crypto is. You're going to sell yourself short. It's only a 300% move. You know how fucking easy that is to do in a bull market? In an altcoin season? Do you know how easy that is? That is nothing. That is nothing. Seriously, like have that as a target. Sure. Do some action at that target. But like, it's not hard to go above that at all. If Bitcoin goes long and strong for, up to 12 months, you got to have much higher targets in mind. It can be a mining play for those that are interested. XRP has been covered. Tata Motors? Is that a stock? Cochin Shipyard share? We don't look at stocks. MSTR is as close into that world as I'm going to get. All right, how long we've been streaming here? Wow, long stream. I don't usually do a 90-minute stream. We got a lot to talk about. Did we talk about XDC? That person's probably not around anymore. Just in case they are. XDC is, you know, getting a little bit of love, but it needs to erase some of the damage that's been done. Because it's at the lowest price it's been, or it's at a price it was at in March of 2021. So if you held it at any point past March of 2021, you're down. So kind of a weak asset, not something I'm super interested in. XDC USD. How's our trade doing? Come on, little guy. We got to go at least test 98. Let's test this 99 level. Let's get some demand. Everybody press buy right now on the count of 3. We'll get our trade going. Have you looked at Mantra? In my days, yes, I have. Mantra DAO. I don't know what you want from that, man. OMBTC. Yeah, I mean, what do you do with this? If you've been holding it, congratulations. There's no trade here though. No trade here. I'd be trimming profits. We got a trim signal here. We got the trim signal in at about 4,000. No, 472 sats for the trim signal. Did you trim? Zeus network on Solana. Really getting into the weeds now. Zeus network. How can it be a network on Solana? Solana's the network. Cross-chain made seamless. Bitcoin to Solana made seamless. Okay. So it's just a bridge. Well, that's good. We need to take some of the liquidity away from Solana, bring it into Bitcoin. The more ways, you know, people get all excited about a bridge to ETH or a bridge to Bitcoin. It just means that they can sell your shitcoin and get Bitcoin for it. Try Apollo. TBTC. I need TBTC to get ZBTC. Yeah. What's the ticker on this? Zeus. When did it launch on OKX here? April. Can't even do a Bitcoin pair on it? All right. Well, we can force it. Yeah, I mean, it's not super exciting. Bullish cross on the weekly. Probably continues to head to higher levels, but it's not going to be a multi-bagger. This ain't your 100x. I'll just put it that way. think there's better plays out there. But it's not the shittiest chart we've looked at today, that's for sure. Hey, JT, do you factor geopolitics into your 4 to 12 month outlook? No, never. Never, ever, ever. I don't do headlines. I don't do news. All of that is propaganda. It's bullshit. And none of it's ever bad for Bitcoin. If we don't go into war, people are, more excited to do business and they borrow money and, you have loans and things are good for crypto. If you go to war, the money printer turns on. That's good for Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what you do. It's good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin does well in good times and Bitcoin does well in bad times, and headlines are how you get fucked out of money. End of story, period. I've never made $1 reading a headline. I don't. I actively avoid it. I live in countries where I don't speak the language, so that I can't read the newspaper. I don't have to listen to people having conversations about this, that, and the other. I actively shut down conversations with my friends and family if they head in that direction. I get my news secondhand or third hand from memes on Twitter. That's it. Don't watch any of that stuff. Don't care about geopolitics at all. I've seen a lot of shit in markets and it's never been bad. So no. Give me some fibs on sand, please and thank you. I'm not much of a fib guy, but man, give me some fibs. When you ask like that, how can I say no? How do you say no to give me some fibs, brother? Got any of those fibs? All right, well, we're still down. We're still down in the crypto abyss here. So let's do a retracement fib. Do a retracement fib, which means we got a lot of catching up to do. If this bull market is to continue, you can do at least a 400% during the bull market on sand. That's a bearish target for the bull market. A more bullish target would be a 500%, and probably a pretty likely target would be 700% for sand in the right context. I like this little pop here. Now we can do a trend-based fib extension, which we don't really have a trend. If anything, we have a downtrend, but let's do it anyways because we're psychopaths. Nah, that doesn't really help much, does it? Doesn't really help much. I think we'll keep it simple. We got, if this pops, if this goes, this is the area I'd be looking at. Kind of from here to here. That's where we would slow down in the event of demand coming to sand. I don't know why there would be demand coming from sand, but that's bias interfering. So can't listen to bias. You got to just go with what you see on the charts. There's no overhead resistance here. Like, look at the structure on the structure on the way up to this point. Let's actually make it a little bit wider so that I can paint a picture a little better. The structure on the way up had nothing holding it back. And then the structure on the way down, when it lost this support, had nothing. So basically, between that blue box and basically this blue box right here, there's not a lot holding you back. So if sand can get above, let's call it a nice even $1.50. If sand can get above $1.50, it's gonna go right up to $3 with very, very little effort. Very little effort. But right now it's way the hell down here and it's a weak asset. I don't mess around with weak assets, but that's what we're looking at. Been my coin since $4. All right. Yeah, if ever there was a time to average down, I mean, not financial advice, and I do think this is a weak asset and I don't really like it. if you're in a position and you know that you're trying to capitalize on the position for the bull market and you want to add a little bit here, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, but don't go heavy, man. Lorenzo Lalota, hello. IOTA, that's the coin you've been holding since $4? IOTA. I don't know if you want to hear what I have to say about IOTA. Really going into the weeds. Ain't he on Solana? AI agent bringing John McAfee back. Okay. Yo, what's up? How high do you think XRP is going to go up? No clue, man. People ask me this all the time. How high will Xcoin go up? It's the wrong question to ask. The better question, which was already asked, is how long do you think the bull market can last? And the answer to that was like 4 to 12 months, depending on what I'm looking for from a structural point of view. At some point, Bitcoin will be, 4 to 12 months in the future. And at some point, there's going to be a shift where our indicator, flashes, we're no longer in a bull market, we're entering a bear market. And that usually happens somewhere around the top. At that point, Bitcoin will be at a price. And I don't know what price it'll be at. My range for what I think that price will be is anywhere from $250,000 to $1.2 million. So kind of pointless, kind of a stupid range. Like that's not really a prediction. The range is I have $1 million in that range. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's not of any value. But that's the range, and it's going to be where are we in time when certain things happen. So when our indicator flips to bear market, Bitcoin will be at a price, which I anticipate to be between that ridiculous range. And when it's at that price, I will be exiting. And XRP will also be at a price, and I will recommend that you exit there as well. All of the alts are going to be at a price, and getting hung up on price and like creating an anchoring bias for expectations of price will screw you over. What's much more important is just understanding what things you need to see in the market to decide, I think the cycle is complete. I think the price cycle is complete. And when you believe the price cycle is complete, you sell at whatever the price is. Whatever it is. It could be $1. It could be $10. It could go back to zero. Like whatever it is, you're done. So, a lot of YouTubers like to do the price prediction thing. The number one reason that exists is because people search for it. And YouTube is a search algorithm, right? So people will type into the search bar 2025 XRP price predictions. So what do YouTubers do? They create 2025 price predictions because there's demand for that content, but it's useless. It's useless. Just don't want to lose on all the unrealized profit thinking it's going to go up further. Just pay attention to Bitcoin. Don't even look at XRP. Don't even look at it. Just focus on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin looks like it's cooked and it's done, and you think Bitcoin's done, XRP will be done too. Rather change it to should I take profit? I entered at $1.10 with 5x leverage, so I'm already up like 600%. Leverage is a whole other can of worms, man. You got to get it in and out. Like you're paying funding on that position. You're paying rent on that position every 8 hours. So, I am not talking about leverage. I do not recommend people take out leverage. What I would do in this scenario, not financial advice, but what I would do is I would consider that a win. I would take profits. I would close the position, then I would roll those profits back into XRP in the spot market and wait for the next thing, whatever that is. That's me. It's not you. You got to do what you got to do. But I never hold long-term leveraged positions. Leverage is get in, get out. I got an idea. I'm sure about that idea. Let's get in, let's make the money, and let's get out. And then just take those profits and put them into the spot market where you can't get fucking liquidated and you don't have to pay funding. Can we see some SUI action? Sure. Did we cover IOTA? Let's go to IOTA USD, which I don't like to do, but we'll do it anyways. Yeah, it's a weak coin. It's a dinosaur coin. It's just an old piece of crap. Overextended, really hot RSI. I don't know. Up against resistance. If it can clear it, great. But I don't know. It's an old bag for you, so... You said you held it from $4. Oof. You'd be lucky to get that back. Because here's the trend, right? It tapped out at $6.50. The next cycle high was $2.74. I really, if the trend is any indicator, you'd be looking at like $1.40. I know that's not what you want to hear, but this is the trend, right? This is what we're looking at. Each cycle brings a lower price. Yeah, maybe don't average down on that one. Okay, well, just to clarify, I'm speculating on Send as well as a few others, but I'm hardcore BTC 100%, just trying to stack more sats with easier pumps. Right, meow. So let's go, Brandon. I would say focus on newer stuff. It's higher risk, but you're not taking high risk allocations. So taking higher risk on newer projects, I think, is a better play. Not financial advice on this, blah, 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 blah. Disclaimer stuff. But I wouldn't focus so hard on older coins. So SUI might actually be a better play. Let's take a look at SUI. Because SUI's new. SUI is newy. Bullish on runes, super bullish on anything ordinals, man. Super bullish on anything ordinals. Another message from X. Follow me on Twitter X, by the way, if you aren't already. I'm not super active there. I'm most active in the Discord. Get in the Discord. Funding is annoying at AF. Yeah. Just whenever you're using leverage, Xylon, have a plan. Like, have an exit. Like, where your stop is, where your take profits are, where you're going to close the position. Don't touch leverage if you're just willy-nilly, just think it's going to go up. That's my advice. Yeah, super bullish on runes. Dog. We'll take a look at dog. We'll come back to runes. SUI. Let's see what SUI BTC is doing, because it might be a better setup. Sometimes if the dollar doesn't look like a good setup, you'll get a good setup on Bitcoin too. So take that into consideration. Really start to use the Bitcoin charts. I'm telling you, they're very, very valuable charts to pay attention to, especially in a bull market. So this is a setup, right? Like, let's remind the audience, SUI, USD. Where do you buy? How do you buy that? So on USD, as far as this setup is concerned, you have to wait for a pullback, right? You have to wait for some sort of a pullback to kind of this range for it to be appropriate to be a buyer again, or take the risk, on smaller time frames. You could go down to the 4 hour and just watch this consolidation and take a risk, but you don't have as much room with the stop loss. Whereas when you look at SUI on the Bitcoin pair, it hasn't really outperformed Bitcoin just yet. I mean, the short-term rally is totally outperforming, but like, it hasn't had a breakout yet. So we can plan better. We can plan better on this. Now we're just looking for a breakout of this level, which it's currently sitting on and working on. So set an alarm, let's say for, let's say I want to be reminded if we get back above this high. So set an alarm, price crossing once per close on SUI 1 week candle close. If we get back above this on a weekly candle, I want to revisit this chart because I might be looking for a trade. On the dollar pair, I don't have a setup. I don't really have a setup. So I need to see this on the Bitcoin pair. So that's Sui. Hi from Thailand. Can you check BCH BTC just for old time's sake? I did kind of brush over it. Didn't have much positive to say about it. I don't really, I think it's a weak asset this cycle. And we'll leave it at that. This is a similar setup to what we saw with Stacks. It's not related to Stacks in any way, but just kind of a similar setup. This is, you know, we had a peak, we had a retracement, we flattened out, and we kind of got our buy signal here on Fetch. So maybe we see an AI rally. Maybe we see an AI rally. What's Tau doing? Tau wants to break out too. I don't like old coins. FET's old coins. I like new coins. What's the new AI? Tau, BitTensor. Do your own research. Bitcoin pair doesn't look as good. So it'll start to get some acceleration. So let's go back to FET. FET BTC. Let's see what FET BTC is looking like. Similar sort of structure. So if you feel like you missed the entry on the dollar pair, you get the same setup here. Get a move above this level. That's a buy. Any price, any candle, any weekly candle close that closes above 2100 sats, 2200 sats would be a buy for me. If you were to pick one and one alt only, what would you pick? I would pick Solana. There are more degenerate, higher risk plays, but if I can only pick one, that means that I have to pick one that's a sure thing. And although nothing is a sure thing, I feel that Solana is the closest altcoin, in my opinion, to a sure thing. So I would pick Solana. Do you think ETH has good ROI this cycle? It's been hibernating, it seems. No, I don't. I think ETH has a stifled and late cycle. I think it's probably going to be one of the last ones to kind of rally, and it'll do well. Like, it'll make a lot of people pretty happy, but Solana is going to steal the show. I really think Solana is going to steal the show when compared to ETH. So for spot, it doesn't really matter how much to wait for like a correction, because the long term, say like 2 months, we're looking bullish. I would assume we're looking bullish for the next 2 months. I'm bullish longer term than that. Do you have a limit on the amount of coins that you will hold? The less is better. Now that, you know, when you're new, you kind of end up in the trap where you buy a bunch of things. You'll end up with like 20 positions, but the whole market's very, very correlated. Like pretty much everything kind of moves the same. When Bitcoin makes a move up, kind of everything makes a move up. So it's really like what's popular and what's the market cap of that popular thing. So like I would prefer to have like 4 positions: Bitcoin, a high market cap alt, a mid market cap alt, and a low market cap alt. I have more, but that's because of the fact that I was also experimenting a lot with ordinals this cycle, and I minted just a bunch of things so I just made them for free, and now they're worth, you know, crazy amounts of money. So I have more positions than I would like to manage, but from a management perspective, less is more. You need to make decisions. You need to act quickly. The less positions you have to worry about what you're going to do, the better. So look at it in terms of market cap. What kind of a market cap are we looking at on this coin? It's a high market cap coin. I want an allocation in that. We got a mid-tier market cap coin. I want an allocation like that. And then I've got, you know, 2 or 3 like gambling coins. where it's just like, I don't know what's going to happen with these. They're small position, they're tiny market cap. They could take over the whole portfolio, or they could trade to zero. Like, it's a coin flip type of situation. Swap half of an ETH for 580 SUI. It's all on you, buddy. It's all on you. Hey, sorry, was off my phone. Did you get my question? So for spot, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I answered that question. Bonk, Pepe, XRP, Cardano, Doge, SHIB, a little bit of Jasmine. That's my current portfolio, but it's all leveraged. Thinking of taking profit and putting it in spot. You never need to worry about spot. If you're running 5x leverage, your position can't go below 20% of your entry. Otherwise, it's liquidated. That's easy to do for alts, and it can happen quickly. So I don't hold alts on leverage long term for a myriad of reasons, but you know, it also sounds like you just want to hold. Like, if you just want to hold long term, do spot. Don't mess around with leverage, because the exchange is just like, I don't know, they're just eating all your profits. And they're like, this sucker's just holding this for months. We're going to take like half of his margin. If you're not careful too, if you're on cross margin or isolated margin and you're holding these for long periods of time and the exchange is eating your margin, guess what? Your liquidation price is rising, and you may not be aware that your liquidation price is rising. And then you're not paying attention. Your liquidation price is risen to like 10% above your entry, and it takes a dump. Boom, your whole portfolio is gone. Spot, you don't need to do anything. I hold this asset. It's volatile, and at the top, I'm going to sell it for whatever. Bro, I'm holding in spot Pixel, TNSR, Sui, Doge, PAL, TAI. Some of those I don't know. But yeah, no Bitcoin. How much time you think they will pump? Well, it depends how many of those are just rugs, right? Like, it sounds like you're holding some pretty low cap stuff. The other thing to be aware of with low cap stuff, like let's take a look at Pepe, for example. Pepe, actually, you know what was a good one was Floki. Oh, they've actually recovered quite a bit. But what you're looking out for, so poor example, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Pepe and Floki look fine. But, you know, you got to watch out for the ones that pump, and then they're just pumping dumps, and they're gone. So I don't know a lot of the coins that you mentioned, and I probably don't want to know a lot of the coins that you mentioned, but just be aware of that. So you got Pepe. Oh, no, that was somebody else. Oh, no, Pixel. Let's take a look at Pixel real quick. That's the only one I'm going to look at. Yeah. So just what you do with these really low caps, let me confirm this is a low cap, is get into the communities. So get into the communities and figure out who the whales are. So Pixel, it's a metaverse bullshit play. Get into the community and figure out who the whales are. So how do you join the community? Right here, join community. What is it? Discord. Boom, that's what you want. Get into the Discord. Try and figure out who the whales are. Don't go around and ask, hey, who's the whales? Just, you know, pay attention to that Discord and try and figure out who the whales are. And the moment a whale says that they're selling, get out. There's not enough liquidity when a whale starts selling on these low cap things. Why are there two live streams? Vertical and horizontal. When do I think the alts will go all-time high? How many months? 1 or 2? How much time do you think they will pump? 4 to 12. Okay, I'm repeating myself a lot, so I think we're going to wrap things up. Before we do that, let's just quickly go back over to Bitcoin, see how we're doing there. So both take profits have been hit. We took 5% off the table here in this trade. We took 10% off the table here in this trade. If you guys are in it, congratulations. You are definitely in profits at this point. So another successful trade here on Bangbox. If you guys want access to this free Bitcoin trading bot that will trade Bitcoin futures for you on 10x leverage, then check out the links down below. Go to blackbox.pro, blkbox.pro. Sign up, get your free Bitcoin trading bot, get free Discord access. I don't mean a little bit free. I don't mean free trial. I mean free forever. It's all accessible for you guys so that you can be successful in this market. We've got more bots coming down the pipe for the tone vase enthusiasts. The MRI swing box is coming. We always, say things are coming well before they're actually ready, but it's coming. It's increasingly ready day by day. And that's it. That's all the time I have for today. So if you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this content with anybody who you think would find value out of this content. I do try my best to be as unbiased and be as level-headed and correct in this market as I possibly can. We have a lot of new people coming in. I'm sure you had some discussions with some of your friends and relatives around the Thanksgiving table, and maybe some other individuals who you'll be seeing around Christmas. So if you're wanting to point them in the right direction, send them over our way so that we can get them bull run ready, brought up to speed and ready to capitalize on this market as best as they can. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.